Hello, everyone. It's Friday. What does that mean? It's actually Friday, the 24th of February, 2023. So that means not only is it double XP weekend for Fallout 76, but Season 28 of Diablo 3. Got a draft video coming up today. Later, I think it's a premiere, or already by the time this comes out. But I'm not going to leave you alone here on Friday night if you're trying to play Standard, because right now, what I have for you is got $5 and want to play some Magic the Gathering? Well, if I got some ideas for you. This is $5 Deck Tech. That's right, we're back here with $5 Deck Tech. This time, green-white tokens, which is actually a halfway decent archetype. But, you know, with the $5 constriction of budget that we have, and remember, folks, I'm digging through TCG Player, a couple of pages deep even, to get like a base median. Now, you could probably pick up a couple of these cards cheaper than what I'm saying, but as of today, the 24th, at like 11:30 in the morning, these were the prices of them. Some of them adjusted, some of them didn't. I made this deck a week or two ago. Just finally got around to getting this particular deck tech done, and so far, this deck definitely punches up. It punches up in a way that you wouldn't expect. So let me get the split done between creatures first, because that's how I have it written. The whole idea of this deck is just to get tokens out. And at first, it was a toss-up between Torrens or King Daryl the 38th. You can only afford one or the other. And when I originally made the deck, and it didn't really change that much, Torrens is like $1.25 at the moment. And the problem with that is there's no way that you could spend half of the budget on a $5 or less deck tech, micro budget on 2 cards. You can't make the rest of the deck, no matter how hard you try, viable in any way, shape, or form. Now remember, this is for Standard, so if you're going to Friday Night Magic tonight at your local game store, not only is this a 60-card deck, but a 15-card sideboard. Or, if you want to wait till next week to get the cards together that you can get at TCG Player or Card Kingdom or, Star City, just remember, it's going to float between $5 and $10, depending on shipping and handling and depending on who you go to. I know Star City generally has a little bit higher prices, but they're always flatlined and it's one-stop shopping. You don't have to kind of root through 100 different sellers on TCG Player. Card Kingdom's the same way, where it's like a one-stop shop almost, but you have to make do with what we have to make do. Now that I've rambled for a few minutes, we're going to get a best of 3 matchup going as soon as we get this deck finished, the tech-wise. First off, Powerstone Engineer for 1 and a white for a 2/1 Human Artificer. When it dies, create a tap Powerstone token. We play a handful of artifacts in this deck, but we really want to have the ability to replace itself with a couple of the cards that we play. And Powerstone Engineer you can get for 2 cents a piece. 1 linchpin key card in this, Rumor Gatherer. 1 white for a 2/1 Elf Wizard. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under our control, scry 1. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card instead. I can't tell you that we're flooding out, we're making tokens, and we're going to be constantly keep getting card draw here. And Rumor Gatherer is actually a 20-cent card a piece, but having 2 of them in the deck is so worth it. And even if you have 3 creatures hit the field, you still get to scry 1 on the 3rd. Don't underestimate how potent of a card this is. Then we have Dawnhart Mentor, 2 and a green for 0/4 Human Warlock. When this enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token. But it's got Coven, 5 and green. Target creature you control gets +3/+3 and gains trample till end of turn. Activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. We can get there so easy, but we almost never use that ability. That is almost like a game ender, and it's happened a handful of times in testing. Dawnhart Mentor, though, is a 2-cent card. Yeah, 2 cents for this card. Then the basis of the deck that we started, King Daryl the 38th, if I'm saying that correct. 1 green and a white for a legendary human soldier, a 2/3 creature. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. Great anthem effect. 3 green and a white, put a +1/+1 counter on King Daryl, and create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Once again, we're creating as many tokens as possible here. Then we can sacrifice it, and creature tokens we control gain hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. So if there's a board wipe that happens, or targeted removal, or anything, and we just have a bunch of tokens that we want to keep, we can always sacrifice King Daryl in a pinch. And King Daryl is a 60-cent card. It dropped 5 cents from the original that I built on this, but 60 cents, $1.20 for that, and then the Rumor Gatherer is 40 cents. So that's $1.60 on 4 cards right there. but King Daryl is so worth it for the Anthem effect and the fact that you can make tokens in the late game. Queen Allenal the Ruadach. I probably said that horribly wrong. My bad. It is a legendary creature, elf noble, green, white, white for a star ability creature. Queen Allenal's of Ruadach's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. If one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, create those tokens plus a 1/1 white soldier creature token are created instead. So basically, if we get a Dawnhart Mentor out with Queen Allenal, we get 2 1/1 creatures. That King Daryl makes 2 2s. Once again, it's tokens. We just flood out as much as we can. And the Queen is actually a 15-cent card, and we're playing 2 copies of her. Searchlight Companion, a 3-drop artifact drone creature, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Once again, if we have the Queen out, we get a 1/1 colorless and a 1/1 soldier. Also, we can use the Power Stones that are made by Powerstone Engineer to cast Searchlight Companion. Searchlight Companion was a 5-cent card. Recently spiked up from 2 cents. Then we play Scrapwork Cohort, a 4-drop artifact creature soldier for a 3/1 creature. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 soldier creature artifact token. Has Unnerve too. If it's in the graveyard, we can cast it for 2 and a 1, bring it out of the graveyard. We still get the effect of making a soldier, and at the end of the turn, we have to exile the cohort that was unearthed. Scrapwork Cohort is a 2-cent card. We're playing 4 of them. 2 of them. My bad. I'm looking at the list too, and I made that mistake. And then finally, Darling of the Masses, 2/4 for 2 green and white for an elf citizen creature. Other citizens you control get +1/+0. Almost never. We're not playing that many citizens or making citizens. But whenever Darling of the Masses attacks, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. So right there and then, she pumps what she brings out. And once again, if Queen Allenal is out, we're making a 1/1 green white citizen and a 1/1 soldier token. So that is the creature front right now. Oh, by the way, Darling of the Masses is a 5-cent card. Then we're going to go into the spell slots here. Strength of the Coalition is an all-star in this deck. For green, you get an instant with kicker 2 and a white, which, we're playing green-white, so it makes sense. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If this spell was kicked, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. No one expects the Strength of Coalition, and I have won so many games by kicking the Strength of Coalition because no one's expecting it. Not only are we getting a bunch of extra damage through, but we pump a creature, we can either keep it alive or deal those last points of damage for lethal. And Strength of the Coalition, 2-cent card. Then we play 2 copies of Citizen's Crowbar. It's a 1 and a white for an artifact equipment. When Citizen's Crowbar enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white-green creature token. Then attach Citizen's Crowbar to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has 1 and tap it. Sack Citizen's Crowbar, destroy target artifact or enchantment. We can get rid of a target enchantment hate, but this is a great 2-drop creature because it's a 2/2. And then we can always sacrifice it. It does make a citizen, so kind of, token. We're doing tokeny things. But, we almost never use the destroy target artifact or enchantment, but lately I have been because Phyrexia All Will Be One exists now in the format. Citizen's Crowbar is a 10-cent card. And then for 15 cents, and we're playing a whole play set of them, dang near second most expensive card, third or fourth expensive card, but value-wise, the second most expensive, because we play a whole play set of Valorous Stance for 1 and a white for an instant. Choose one. Target creature gains indestructible till end of turn, or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. This was put in the main because of Shielded at the time. But now that Phyrexian OB1 is out, there's a whole bunch of other bad mojos with toughness 4 or greater that we need to take care of. At instant speed, I might add. It's a 15-cent card, and we have to play 4 of them with this deck. Then 4 copies of Join the Dance. For a green and a white sorcery, create 2 1/1 white human creature tokens, and it's got flashback 3 green and white. So on turn 2, we can join the dance, and then turn 5, we can do it again. And then exile the spell after it resolves. But once again, we're making tokens, and if you have the queen out, it makes more tokens. It just makes sense to put a whole playset of Join the Dance in. And Join the Dance is a 7-cent card. Cathar's Call. This is a enchantment or a 2 and a white, and this has secretly put more work in than I ever gave it credit for. It's an enchant creature. Enchanted creature has vigilance, and at the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 white human creature token. This, in conjunction with Queen, is stupid good. If you live in a dream, mind you, we're a magical Christmas land with Queen and a Cathar's Call. We're making 2 1/1s at the end of every turn. And sometimes people don't want to waste a removal piece on a simple 1/1 with a Cathar's Call on it until it's too late. And Cathar's Call is a 10-cent card. We're playing 2 of them. Then Heroic Charge, which is a backup to Strength of the Coalition. Now, you could make an argument if you wanted to save some budget or have it a little flow a little better. You can always put 4 Strength of the Coalitions in as opposed to 2 Heroic Charges. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. If this spell was kicked, they also get Trample. We're not playing any red, so there's no use in trampling. But why wouldn't you put 2 more Strength of the Coalitions in? Good question. I think I just like Heroic Charge just as an instant for 2 and a 1. Especially, some days you blow through your Strength of the Coalitions, and then you have to Heroic Charge. You can make an argument because Heroic Charge is a 2-cent card along with Strength of the Coalition. So have at it. Personally speaking, I think now looking at it, you could always change the 2 Heroic Charges to put in the Strength of the Coalition. We are playing 9 planes. Oh, by the way, Strength of the Coalition, as I said, is a 2-cent card. 9 planes, 9 forests, but also 4 Blossoming Sands. And this is one of those times where I will make sure you have to get it from a specific set. This card's been printed a whole bunch of times, but you need to find the Khans of Tarkir Blossoming Sands version, because that is the one that is for 10 cents a piece. All the other ones are like 15 and 20 cents from the other sets. This helps stay within our budget, so you have to make sure it's the Khans of Tarkir one to stay within budget. That was the main. Now let's check out the sideboard, because remember, this is a $5 and under standard deck, sideboard included. We play 3 Blessed Defiances. For 1 in an instant, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains lifelink until end of turn. When that creature dies, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token. If something's getting targeted with something and we have Blessed Defiance or they have a lot of removal in their hands, we just slide these in. And it's not really creature protection. It can out-aggro white, a mono red, because we can get the lifelink. But we can also just at least replace it for 1 white mana. And that is a 2-cent card. Then we're playing 3 Boon of Safeties. Once again, same thing. If we're playing against a bunch of aggressive mono red decks or the green-white toxic decks, we can just put a shield counter on a target creature and we get the scry one. Then we play Boon of Safety is a 10-cent card, but we got to play 3 of them in the side. Fierce Retribution for 1 and a white, an instant with Cleave 5, destroy target attacking creature. We're playing 3 copies of this at 2 cents. Now, there's much better removal pieces out there, but we can't afford them because we are under $5. Fierce Retribution, though, if they're a very swingy deck with toxic or mono red or even green, black green, or we can always get rid of a target, an attacking creature at instant speed. Or late game, we can get rid of that big bad that they just dropped on turn 6. And Fierce Retribution, 2-cent card. We're also playing 3 copies of Citizen's Arrest for 1 white for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls until Citizen's Arrest leaves the battlefield. Ossification is a really good removal in this deck. Ossification is out of our price range. So we have to think outside the box, and Citizen's Arrest is one of those cards where it's thinking outside the box. Yeah, sure, it's 1 more mana, especially a color pip. But when you're on a budget, just trying to figure out if you like the format or not, sometimes you just got to make those concessions. This isn't about making a top-tier deck. This is making a deck that is viable and actually decent to play at your local game store on a Friday Night Magic Standard event for under $5. Citizen's Arrest, however, is a 5-cent card. And then we play 4 copies, a whole play set of Broken Wings, because it can destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. This is artifact and enchantment removal. This is flying removal, but we're mainly using this for the artifact and enchantment removal. Broken Wings is a 5-cent card, and we have to play the whole play set. So let me adjust my numbers here, because I realized I added for 3 of them. Yeah, the sheets right here, yeah. Oops. I'm telling you, as of 11:30, these were the prices. This is so that doesn't affect us. I'll tell you why, though. The whole deck, sideboard included, 75 cards. The value on paper from TCG Player, and this is digging. I'm digging through these. That value is $4.91, and this is after I adjusted for the extra Broken Wings that I forgot to add in. $4.91. That's under $5. You want to know how much this deck is on Magic the Gathering Online? $1.07. It's a one ticket, and then 7/100ths of a ticket. So basically, it's $1.07 on Magic the Gathering Online. Also, somewhat arena safe. We are playing 30 commons, 25 uncommons, and 2 rares for the entire deck. So, there we go. I mean, this deck, 30, 25, 55. Oh yeah, the lands. I thought I made more mistakes. But that being said, we are actually now going to play, hopefully, depending on how the servers on Magic the Gathering Arena have been lately. For me, anyway. I was trying to steal some games yesterday, and it just wasn't happening. Like, see what I mean? So while we wait, let's get that intro again. Got $5 and want to play some Magic the Gathering? Well, if I got some ideas for you, this is $5 Deck Tech! And we're still waiting. What the fudge? Alright, you know what? I'm going to end it here because Arena is not cooperating with me, but I will leave the gameplay link in the description down below. My name has been Dom Douglas. This has been a Deck Tech, and don't forget to click that link in the description down below to make sure you can see this deck in action. And may your top deck always be mythic.